So my name is James and I work as a playwright and I write TV and poetry as well. Can we get some pens and paper, please? So the first thing we're going to talk about today is what you might want to write a play about. So we're going to do some writing exercises to help you find some ideas. First question is this: what is their name? How old are they? What do they do with their time? Who do they spend their time with? What do they want to change about the people they spend time with? What do they dislike about them? There's so many ideas then about who and what can go in your play. If it doesn't exist, write it. Write the play you want to see in the world. Write that place only you know. The main technique and activity I'm delivering to help people find the material to write their plays is an activity called free writing. They're not worrying about spelling or grammar or whether it's good or bad or producible on stage. They're just mapping the movement of their mind on paper. I hope that the workshops support young people in writing their plays and giving them the tools and techniques they need to construct a drama that's going to engage and entertain an audience. As young writers, you know about a place that so few people in the world know about.
I learned that you don't have to focus on it being smart and good. You have to focus on it being about you, not just what everyone else thinks, but what you think.
The most memorable thing to come from young people is one of the stories that a young boy dreamt up in one of the workshops about a dad who sells his superpower of immortality because he's broke. But then when he has a son, he wants to buy it back because he wants to stay alive for the whole of the son's life. So I think that's a great thing with writing. It's a great way to get stuff off your chest. And for me, if there's things I don't feel confident enough to say out loud, I can kind of write it out on paper and then someone else can say it out loud for me on stage. So I think that's something that can definitely happen in your play. Write about those things you want to get off your chest.
Yeah, it's inspired me a lot because I used to be really quiet. It was like I was under a shell, so I was really quiet, and now I've gone out of the shell and not quiet anymore, and I actually speak a lot because of this.
A project like this is really important, specifically in Suffolk, because it says to young people you don't have to live in a city to be a writer. It says to young people that your voice is important and theatres are for you, and that what's going on in your head and your heart is valuable and people need to hear about it.
I'm very excited about showing my play in the theatre, and so other people can enjoy it.
Well, I've not really got a part that I didn't really like. I liked it all.
I've learned that when you write about a play, you can do whatever you would like to do. You don't have to be one certain thing. Before this, I weren't that imaginative, but for this, I am much more.
As a writer from young people, I unlearn shame. I think that's the biggest thing. I think when you get older, you're so worried about being good or clever that you get in your own way when you're creating. And I think working with young people who haven't yet learned shame or aren't worried what people think about the quality of their ideas, it makes me braver and more playful in my own writing.
Projects like this genuinely have the ability to change children's lives. I think that moment where they realise that they have something to say that's important and that people will listen is a really empowering moment and can set them on a path that might change their entire future.
I like writing because if I'm going through something stressful or something, then I can write it down in a story.
I couldn't believe it at first because when I saw my name on there, I was thinking, is that somebody else? But no.
Their imaginations know no bounds, and they're not limited by things like logic. So they can set it anywhere and go anywhere and do anything, and they're not thinking about things that will constrict it on stage. So yeah, really exciting.
What is this horrible Greek place? Oh, we're inside a pigeon's stomach.
Gordon Ramsay looked out of his window, but nobody was outside.
Maybe this is a dream.
Gordon Ramsay goes home confused.
Let's welcome on Tim Fitzham, Abby Hood, Toby Manley and Georgia Richardson.
What's important is the truth of it, the fundamental emotional stuff that goes on, and there's some beautiful things in the plays today, and that's really important. That's why it's so important that people write regardless of whatever their age is. Get it on stage, because nobody writes a 10-year-old's feelings better than a 10-year-old.
I liked everything about it. Like, it was all that I wanted.
What was it like performing a play by a 10-year-old? Absolutely bonkers and exciting and hilarious and wonderfully creative.
Use my hair as a ladder.
The fact that their creativity is just sort of, uninhibited. They'll say whatever's in their head, they'll write down any of their ideas, and part of that sort of creative process is so important that you don't worry about what works and what doesn't work, and sometimes you think about those things as an adult, but as a child or a younger person, I think it's great that they're just free to do and say whatever they like.
Take your seat.
When mine got picked, it inspired me to write more.
It is 1863 right now. All right.
I think particularly with the year of COVID and a year of restrictions and catching up and not being able to be creative, I think this project's been a great opportunity for young people to see their creativity and their work on stage performed by actors and treated with the respect it deserves by industry professionals.
I feel inspired to write more now that we've done the workshop, because I've seen you can actually write and you never know where we'll end up, because we were writing and you could see that my friend's play just got played on the stage and it was really good.